Hey, welcome and good morning. And we're back with another edition of Exiles TV. Well, I'm back. Me and the Pelican Broadcasting crew. B.R.P.D is not with us. He's going to take some time off after the Thanksgiving holiday. And how was yours? I hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful for you. I'm over here now? Nope, still there? We need lights on these things so I know which one to work. Anyway, Bill is not going to be with us. It's just me. I do have a guest coming in today, and that will be Sergeant L. Gene McNeely, the Public Information Officer with the Baton Rouge Police Department. Now, am I going to beat up on the sergeant over the high number of shootings and gunshot deaths in East Baton Rouge Parish? No. What we're going to talk about is going to be a little more useful to you and me. We're going to talk about how you could get through this holiday season and remain safe. There are little things that a lot of us just don't think about when we're out there doing our shopping for the holiday season. And with a little help from the Baton Rouge City Police, maybe you can become, well, help yourself to not be a victim during this Christmas holiday season. So hang on for that. That's coming up. Speaking of which, let me put on the eyeglasses. It's time to read from the interwebs because we've had yet another murder in Baton Rouge. Lost track. In the city, I think this is 108. In the parish, I think it's somewhere around 120, 121. A victim of homicide found on the 29th, yesterday afternoon, in his vehicle in the 2500 block of Huron Street, and he was shot dead. His death remains under investigation, and of course he has not been identified as yet, and at this point there's no suspect. This is the culmination of 8 shooting incidents that took place over the period from Wednesday afternoon through to this morning. 8 shootings, some of them fatal, a lot of them not. Now, should we not be concerned about the non-fatal shootings? I think just the opposite. I think that you should be able to go through your life in a city like Baton Rouge and not have to worry about whether or not you're going to get shot. Now, we talked with the district attorney here recently on the program. He says in a lot of these cases, the people, the shooter and the victim, they know each other. But there are also cases where someone is just a robbery victim and he gets shot. Or sometimes it's, something else where somebody, you anger somebody and you get shot. How concerned should we be that 4 years have gone by and, in my opinion, the people we elected to lead us and lead the protection of us here haven't made a significant dent in the spiraling increase in violent crime, in shootings and in gun murders. Now, guns aren't the only way people are murdered, but it's the vast majority in East Baton Rouge Parish are gun deaths. There are some other ways, people being beaten to death, strangled, et cetera, et cetera. But this remains a very, very high concern, and that's why I just want to urge you, we just wrapped up early voting. If you did not cast your vote, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to urge you to do that. I'm just saying, if you don't like the way things are, cast a vote. And get out next Saturday on Election Day and make sure that your voice is heard and cast that vote. One way or the other, I don't care. Just don't waste the opportunity to vote. Do you know our last mayoral election here in East Baton Rouge Parish was a runoff again, a December runoff, and the decision was made by under 30% of the registered voters. That's right. The decision as to who was going to lead the most populous parish in the state of Louisiana was made by under 30% of the registered voters in the parish. I think that's poor representation and a poor sampling to make a choice. So I'm just going to urge everybody, please, get out and cast that vote. Again, we got a homicide here that just occurred yesterday afternoon, or was discovered yesterday afternoon, on Huron Street, about 2:40 in the afternoon. How's that for a great weekend? Other things to talk about. We got a man that's in critical condition after he was shot on North Carrollton Avenue here in Baton Rouge. We got state police investigating an officer-involved shooting in Houma. I don't believe in blaming the gun. I don't believe we should ever blame the gun. It's not the gun's fault that people use it to ill effect. But we definitely have a problem here, and how do we make people understand that this is frankly not tolerable and that we won't stand for it, and we want safer streets, we want law and order in East Baton Rouge Parish. More on that to come. We're also going to talk about how you can stay safe this holiday season. And we're also going to talk a bit about the mayoral race in that we do have a final Baton Rouge mayoral debate coming up this week between Sharon Weston Broom, the incumbent, and Steve Carter, the challenger. We'll talk about all this as we continue the program, okay? So glad to have you with us. As I mentioned, B.R.P.D has taken a few days off. It's just me. I'll have some guest hosts in here with me for the rest of the week. And in just a few short moments, we're going to talk with Baton Rouge Police. The simple things that you can think about and do to help from becoming a crime victim this holiday season. That's all on the way. We're going to take a quick break and take care of some business, and we'll be back in just minutes. Thank you for tuning us in today. This is Exiles TV on Pelican Broadcasting.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Before we go any further, for those of you that missed the shows last week, see this big black space here? This is a broken screen on our Mosaic TV screen, and I didn't do it. I just want you to know, for once, I didn't do it. Joining me over here on the other side of the stage is Sergeant Don Cappola, Public Information Officer with the Baton Rouge Police Department, and you are also now involved heavily with Crime Stoppers as well.
I am, yes sir, I am. Dual duties and enjoying it and staying busy.
We invited you on to talk about this is going to be a season where probably less people will be out putting themselves in potential risk by going Christmas shopping, but nevertheless, there are things that everyone can do to help assure that they're not a victim.
Exactly.
So where would you like to begin? You want to talk about the parking lot?
Well, we can start there. That's a good spot to start.
It's parking lot, in store, then parking lot again.
Yes, and Kevin, it's in that order. We want to remind people, have a plan before you go out. As far as we're going to store A, B, and C in that order, and when you're parking, daylight hours versus evening hours, it's going to be a little different. But regardless, remember where you park. Take a picture of a landmark so you can come back to. If it's nighttime, we recommend parking underneath or around a overhead lighting.
Yes,
exactly. As you're walking into the store, keep your phones down, pay attention where you're going, walk with a purpose. So you don't want to come off as posing as a potential victim from the start. As you get into the stores, we recommend don't wear real flashy jewelry, don't wear your best clothing. And as you continue to shop, don't have bags falling out of your arms.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to make a trip or two back to the vehicle to store them, then do that. That way you're not walking out of the store fumbling and packages are falling everywhere. But if you do make trips back and forth to the vehicle, don't store them in plain view. Just put them in the trunk, out of plain sight. As somebody walks by, they don't see what you just purchased, and then you are potential to have your car burglarized.
Don, these people that might seek to carry out an armed robbery, or worse yet, I remember, I don't know if we've had one of these in a while, but there was a series of crimes that were occurring where they would they'd come up behind you, force you into your own car, and make you go to the ATM and empty your account, these sorts of things. What are the criminals looking for when they're picking a victim?
Well, it's really hard to say, but someone who may be vulnerable as far as we talked about the phone. Don't have your head buried in your phone. Walk with a purpose. It's good to shop in groups. Okay, don't go solo. Have a group of friends go with you, and then that way you don't become or are posed as a potential victim.
So I like when you say walk with a purpose. Dawdling always seems to be, especially in those big open areas where somebody could be hiding behind an SUV or whatever. If you're moving pretty good, they may decide, no, there's no way I'll get to him or her before they make it to the door or before they make it to their car.
Exactly. Your head's not in your phone. And pay attention to that sixth sense, okay? That sixth sense usually is more times right than not. And if you feel something uneasy, then maybe pick up the phone and call someone. Hey, this is where I am. This is where I'm going. Just stay on the phone with me. And then that way, if need be, and something unfortunately happens, you can give a location of where you are and instruct that person to maybe contact law enforcement. Okay.
What about your wallet, where your credit cards and any cash you may be carrying? Should you change your behavior with that? A lot of guys like me, I've got mine. My right hip pocket. It's always in my right hip pocket. And I think most guys may go to the left, but a burglar or a thief is going to be looking for my wallet in my back pocket, right?
Well, as far as a male individual, it's good to maybe keep it in your front pocket, okay? Or if you have a big wallet that's in the back pocket, be cautious of large crowds or people bumping into you. Make it a habit of periodically reaching back and maybe just brushing your backside where your wallet is, just to feel and make sure that it's still there.
When it comes to shopping, let's say Mall of Louisiana is a good example. You're planning on hitting 4 or 5 stores in the Mall of Louisiana. Should you make should you move your car to be closer to the store? Should you make the multiple trips, or should you park in one central place, do it all, and make one trip in and one trip out? Which is safer in your mind?
That's gonna really depend on you and where you're going and the distance between those stores. If you're going from
Macy's to Dillard's, which is on the far end.
Well, and I'm going to trust you because I try to stay away from the mall. But if it's on complete opposite sides, then it may be a good idea to go ahead and get back in your vehicle
and
move your vehicle, just so you find a good deal. You bought more than what you expected to, and then you're walking out and packages are falling, on the ground, and you're bending over picking them up, and totally taken away from your sense of security as far as assessing the parking lot and what's going on. So yes, I would definitely recommend moving your vehicle.
Is pickpocketing still a thing at this time of year?
Well, we don't put anything past anyone these days. So again, it's just, Kevin, taking the precautions of everything as far as what we talked about. If your wallet's in your back pocket, you're feeling people bump you, even if you don't, just get in the habit of brushing with your hand on the backside to feel that wallet's still there.
Okay. We're talking with Sergeant Don Cappola. Sorry there, Mike. Excuse me. Sergeant Don Cappola with Baton Rouge Police about how ways that you can avoid becoming a victim during the holiday shopping season. And when we come back, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about porch pirates. A lot of people get ripped off right at their own front door. Exiles TV returns in just a moment. Stay by.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hey, we are back. It is Exiles TV. I'm Kevin Gallagher. Bill Profita taking a few days off, a little extended holiday, if you will. And with me is Sergeant Don Cappola. He is with the Baton Rouge Police Department, Public Information Officer. And what is your title with Crime Stoppers as well?
I'm the Crime Stoppers Coordinator.
Coordinator. Okay, so you work with that agency and you kind of liaise between them and the police.
Two, yes.
Mm-hmm. I said we were going to talk about the other crime wave that struck at the holidays, the porch pirate phenomenon. Last year alone, I had one family that I know. They had their Christmas tree shipped to them. They ordered it online, had their Christmas tree shipped to them. Their Christmas tree disappeared off their front porch within about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Nobody was home. And then a lot of their Amazon and Walmart packages that were shipped to them, they had somebody hit them twice. So they got hit 3 times.
3 times.
One
Wow.
family got hit 3 times. And I asked them, did you call the police? Well, in this case, in the sheriff's office, because they live outside city limits.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, did you report this? Well, what good would that do? And so if you're does that count as, what does that count as, a burglary? If someone takes stuff right off your front porch?
It could be a burglary, it could be a theft, but that needs to be reported. Okay, but Kevin, there are steps to take to prevent that. Okay, if you're ordering something for delivery, see when that package will be delivered through the tracking. And if you can't be home, get with a neighbor you trust. Get with a friend, a family member to be at the residence to collect this package. If all of that does not work for you, maybe have your package delivered to a business. So that way somebody is there to sign, to collect, and it's not just left on the porch.
Yeah, it would seem to me that if your employer's okay with that, that would be one of the best solutions, is just ship it to my job.
Right. Or ship it to someone that you know is going to be home to receive that package. Unfortunately, if you are a victim to this, we see a lot of videos from Ring cameras and other surveillance video that are sent to us that we forward on to investigators. And a lot of times they are able to identify and apprehend these ones responsible for these actions.
It seems ironic to me that nowadays your average doorbell camera has better resolution for capturing images of the perpetrator
Aren't they amazing?
than the ones in, like in convenience stores and things.
Technology has just gone a different level.
We were talking with LG McNeely, the other PIO for B.R.P.D, during a commercial break. There is some effort to see if people will voluntarily let law enforcement network in on that Ring camera footage. Is that a good idea? I mean, would someone be like monitoring Ring cameras for bad behavior? Or?
Well, that is something that is in the works, and we hope that when it does come out, that people will be open to. I can tell you now that we are receiving surveillance videos from the Ring cameras. They're emailed to myself and Gino through B.R.P.D info, and then those videos are passed on. So whatever we could do to assist in this, and we don't want people to feel that it was just a whatever package, it was small. Well, unfortunately, those small packages then lead to bigger packages and bigger. So this is
also,
something that
quite often expensive stuff comes in a small
yes,
package.
absolutely. And people are doing the right thing. They're not getting out. They're abiding by the governor and the mayor's orders as far as the pandemic. So they're shopping online, but yet becoming a victim as they're delivered. So just be mindful as far as maybe when a delivery is going to take place, to have someone at the residence to collect that.
If in our neighborhood, because a lot of us are home now, if in our neighborhood we see vehicles cruising the neighborhood, should we call
Absolutely.
the police, call the sheriff's office?
Absolutely. Take whatever video or picture of the vehicle, or get a good description if a license plate number is obtained. We don't recommend you approach or try to stop the vehicle, but just collect as much information as you can. If it had certain types of wheels or bumper stickers, or as descriptive as you can be, contact law enforcement and let them know so they can ride around to see if the vehicle is still there, or if a crime has committed, they then have something to go on to see if that vehicle is part of that criminal activity.
If we should be home and literally catch someone trying to steal from our front door, what do you recommend?
Well, I would recommend pictures, videos. I would not attempt to approach that individual and put yourself in harm's way, because you don't know what they may or may not have, and you don't want to put yourself in harm's way and the situation escalate and get worse, and then you suffer some type of bodily injury.
So the cell phone camera is going to be more efficacious than, say, the shotgun?
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so.
This is another, maybe a dumb question, but if you're trying to get images of someone as they're making off with your stolen goods, still images or shoot video? I mean, which can you guys make better use of?
Either one. Videos are good, and still photos could be taken from the videos. So if it's just hitting the record button and letting that video play, then send us that, and that information can be put into still footage, or the whole video may be accessible.
What are the other crimes that tend to surge at holiday time?
Something else you want to be mindful of is shopping over the internet. A lot of people shop online, the Amazon and other. You want to be cautious of scammers. So when you shop online, make sure it's a reputable place that you're shopping.
Okay.
Be aware of public Wi-Fis. Okay, if you're on a public Wi-Fi, maybe use the VPN. Keep your password. Something that's not really easy to obtain. And you see these scams day in and day out. So just be mindful of that. Usually if it's too good to be true, then it usually is.
Okay. I'm going to circle back around to actually physically shopping. And I'm going to talk for a minute. I think you and I have done this before at the holiday time, but there's something that I observe a lot at the mall, in the parking lot. And that is, it's almost always a female, but not of any certain age. I've seen young women, I've seen old women, but they get to the vehicle and they may do the smart thing and put their packages in the car, but then they get in the car and they're sitting there, and a minute goes by, and then 90 seconds, and then 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and they haven't started the car, put it in gear, and gotten themselves out of harm's way. How smart is that? If you're just sitting in your vehicle, couldn't you be jacked?
Well, and you could, and I think that those individuals may feel a sense of security being in the vehicle, locked in the vehicle.
But yet most people, if somebody taps on that window, they may be locked in the car, but if you tap on the window with a Beretta, they're going to unlock the door.
Right, and so again, as you're approaching the vehicle, maybe have your keys out, maybe hit the button to unlock it as you get close, put your packages in, and then as you said, maybe move directions or go to another parking spot or go to another store if you need to sit and gather your thoughts, because if you're being watched coming out the store and they notice the car hasn't moved, then that may raise a red flag. So,
it would occur to me that if you've got stuff you need to do in the car before you leave, move the car to a remote location where you're going to see somebody, where there's nobody parked but you, and you're going to see someone approach.
And another good suggestion may be to back in to a parking spot.
So you can
drive forward instead of having to back out. If there's a car in front of you, someone's behind you, or a car pulls behind you where you're unable to back out, at least this way you're able to pull out and see what's ahead of you.
Smart, but don't make a victim of yourself. Don't leave yourself thoughtlessly in a place where someone could get up next to the car. As I said, you may be locked in your car, but if they're knocking on your glass with a pistol, 9 times out of 10, people are going to comply with somebody with a pistol.
Exactly.
Whereas, as you just said, if you're backed into that parking space, they may tap on your glass with a pistol. You just pop it and drive and move.
And move out. And don't ever think that it can't happen to you. We hope that it never does, but just taking the small precautions, like we've talked about and discussed today, the chances decrease that it would. But always stay vigilant and just know that you don't want it to happen to you, but taking these steps would reduce those chances.
Well, we've got about 30 seconds left here before we have to go to break. Any final thoughts for anyone while we're...
Everyone, have a great holiday. Thank you for having us as always. It's great to see you. And if there's anything we can do, don't hesitate.
Sergeant Don Cappola, he is with Baton Rouge Police, Public Information Officer and Head Coordinator for the Crime Stoppers Program. Remember, if you see something happening, you call them, and that number is
344-STOP.
344-STOP for Crime Stoppers. They pay cash. You don't have to tell them who you are. I've been doing this Crime Stoppers thing for years on radio. It's one of the most effective ways of solving crimes because you do not have to identify yourself, and you can still get a cash reward for helping solve the case.
Absolutely.
Donald, always good to see you. Merry Christmas. I hope that we see each other again before then.
Yes, sir.
Quick break. Exiles TV will be back in just moments.
Awesome.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hey, we're back. It's Exiles TV. Kevin Gallagher solo today because Bill Profita has taken a few days of R&R, and we hope that he returns to us safely and well-rested next week. Now, lots of stuff to talk about. I have talked a little bit about the election coming up this Saturday. Early voting ended last Saturday, a few days ago, and now it's up to you. We have two big items on the ballot coming up this Saturday in East Baton Rouge Parish. One is the mayoral runoff to select the next mayor-president of East Baton Rouge Parish. This is a big job. The city parish has a $1 billion budget, or just under $1 billion. I never thought I'd see the day where a city the size of Baton Rouge would have a $1 billion operating budget, but it does. A lot of that is pass-through money from the feds, but a lot of it is tax money from you and from me. How do you feel about the taxes that you're paying these days? And would you like to, of course, most of us would answer the question yes if we were asked would we like to be paying less taxes, but are you prepared to pay more? Are you prepared for further taxation? Now, during her first term in office, Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome enacted a tax to help pay for the Move BR plan, which is starting to get moving now. I'm glad that they were actually able to get some shovels turning earth before her first term in office was over, but let's not forget that the tax has been in place for 2 years. So you've got taxation, but are you getting a return on your investment as a taxpayer? How do you feel about that? You've got a challenger, and Steve Carter would like you to consider giving him the job of mayor-president of East Baton Rouge Parish. And he says he will make better use of your tax money. He also says he'd like to reprioritize the spending, especially the areas of taxation, the millages that we pay, and whether or not those millages should continue to be paid. we need to take maybe a serious look at this. For instance, and look, I said this before, and many people think I'm, what do you got against libraries? I don't have anything against libraries. I think libraries are great things. I also think that the internet renders the libraries somewhat superfluous. The internet has made libraries so what they are for many people is the place that you go to do what? Use the internet. Because you are, maybe down on your luck, or you're not a big wage earner and you cannot afford to have internet at your own home. There are programs in place to see to it that people that aren't, big wage earners can still get internet service. Many places that offer extremely low cost or even free internet service, well, people like me are paying upwards of $80 to $100 a month just for broadband internet service. So the libraries. Did you know we have 14 public libraries in East Baton Rouge Parish? Did you know that? Did you know that in East Baton Rouge Parish, over 300 people are employed by the libraries? Okay, I'm not denying those 300 people a job. I'm just saying we've rebuilt the downtown library. We built a beautiful main branch library on Goodwood, and a lot of the other libraries have had money injected into them if they haven't been rebuilt themselves. There are still some fine libraries. Jones Creek is a fine example of a library that was built well and is still in great shape. The one on Bluebonnet is also built well and still in great shape. Our library system is in terrific shape. The library fund, however, has more than $62 million of taxpayer money in it, and it can't be spent on anything but libraries. Does that seem right to you when cops need a raise? I mean, they are separate taxing districts. Don't get me wrong. That's part of our problem here in East Baton Rouge Parish, is our education system. The East Baton Rouge Parish school system is a separate taxing district. And while candidates for mayor say, I'm going to fix the schools, all they can really do is make an ask of the school board to make improvements. The mayors can't do anything to fix the schools because the schools are a separate taxing district. The airport is a separate taxing district, and the airport pays for itself. Thank God, we've got something to pay for itself. We've got a public transit system, which maybe is getting a little too much money pumped into it, based on the return on investment. So we have a candidate who says, I'd like to take a big, long look at all of this, the whole thing, and with the city council and voters' help, maybe reprioritize and decide what homeowners and property owners are going to pay taxes on that maybe they don't need to be paying taxes on now. Maybe some of these funds could be, I don't know, is it possible to pause them, suspend them for 4 to 6 years, and let the library spend some of their $62 million and without taxes continuing to flow in every single year? These are some of the questions that voters need to ask themselves. And if you haven't cast your vote, and we had plenty of early voting time to do it, but I urge you, please don't let Saturday go by if you're a resident of East Baton Rouge Parish and you haven't early voted. Please do not let this coming Saturday go by without making it out to the polls and casting your vote. It'll be safe and it'll be efficient. And the slowest I've seen anybody on election day, they said they waited in line for 15 minutes. I can bear the 15 minutes. I don't know about you. But please, let's not let this be another mayoral election that's decided by less than 30% of the registered voters in East Baton Rouge Parish. That's disgraceful. The problem, as I see it, is the December runoff. The December runoff creates, we all turn out in November, especially in a presidential election year. We all go nuts and we go to the polls in November and we cast our vote. But in the case of the mayor-president of East Baton Rouge Parish, that wasn't the sole deciding vote. It would have been if one of those candidates had come up with 51%. But that never happens, especially when you have, how many we have this time? 8? And the cycle before that, the election cycle in 2016, had 12 candidates for mayor. So it's going to be a runoff. But yet, it's the traditional voting behavior in Louisiana that it's a presidential election year. Everybody makes it a point to vote in November. We get 60-70% election turnout, which is great, but then there's still an item to be decided or items to be decided in December, and nobody bothers to go and vote. This is the same phenomenon that put an Asian man in representing the state's majority-minority congressional district. Do you remember when Joseph Gao was elected to Congress? He only served one term because his constituents corrected that mistake. See, the incumbent didn't make it into the runoff election. Or, excuse me, the incumbent did make it into the runoff election, but what happened was there was really, really poor voter turnout to vote for the incumbent in December. And so the Asian man, a Republican, won in the state's majority-minority district. And everybody was scratching their heads going, how did that happen? Because nobody showed up to vote. That's why. So please, don't let Saturday come and go without finding some time to get out there to the polls and casting that vote. I'm always reminded of countries where people risk getting their heads clubbed just for showing up to vote. Places like, well, Venezuela comes to mind, but other third world countries, dictatorships, tyrannical despotisms, where the vote is merely a formality. And, oh, surprise, the incumbent won by 100% of the vote. You know, that sort of thing. I'm tempted to say something about the presidential election that we just had weeks ago, but I don't know what kind of dangerous ground I'll be treading on. But about that, I just want to say it ain't over until it's over, and there are lawsuits pending. So we'll see what the facts are about that. But please, just get out and vote. I don't care if you vote for the incumbent, Ms. Broom. She's a nice person. I think she's doing the best that she can with the tools that she possesses, and I think Steve Carter would do the same. He would put every tool in his chest to work to try and improve things for the voters and the taxpayers in East Baton Rouge Parish. So come what may, let the best person win, but please be a part of that process instead of whining about it next Monday when we find out that the person we were supporting in the election didn't win. There are people that are very angry with our governor right now. How did our governor win a second term in office? Well, here's how. Same thing. We had a runoff election that people didn't show up for. Now, this was not a December runoff, but people, you know, a lot of Republicans liked Ralph Abraham, congressman from up in Northeast Louisiana. A lot of people liked him, and they threw their support behind him. A lot of people liked Eddie Rispone. They threw their support behind him. And a lot of people liked the governor. Of course, the governor, pretty assured the Democrats are going to vote for him, but will the Republicans? Well, when it came right down to it, people that voted for Ralph Abraham and didn't see him make a runoff didn't show up to vote for the governor's challenger. And in some cases, they did show up to vote, but they voted for the governor for another 4 years. So if you're angry with the governor right now about the way COVID-19 is being handled, but you didn't vote in that election, that's the problem. See, this is the problem. We have to participate. Elections have consequences, and we get what we deserve if we don't show up to vote. Am I lecturing? I'm sorry if I'm lecturing, but I'm very passionate about this. You know, I'm one of those young Americans that when I was 18, I was thrilled because as I was approaching 18, they lowered the voting age. I mean, 18 to vote, 18, and so I couldn't wait to vote, and I haven't missed an election ever since. It's an important part of the process. Yes, I'm an early voter. I like to take advantage of that, and I like to think that if I ever become bedridden or where I can't leave the house, I'll take part in absentee voting. But let me say this. If you think that absentee voting and mail-in voting are the same thing, you are sadly mistaken. The mail-in voting that was done across this nation to elect the man that's being touted as the president-elect at this time was done very carelessly. There weren't a lot of checks and balances. There were a lot of ballots that came in. Some weren't even signed, but they were counted. When a ballot comes in, a mail-in ballot comes in, and the only vote cast was in the top ballot item, and that voter didn't vote for anyone down the ballot, that's a red flag. There were irregularities in the 2020 election, and there are people that are suing now to try to sort them out and find out exactly what did or did not happen. Quick break. We'll be right back with more Exiles TV. Stay with us.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hello, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. As we get closer and closer to the holiday, I am wishing you and yours a very safe and happy one. We gave you some tips earlier in the program. If you missed the first part, catch the replay tonight at 10 o'clock on Pelican Broadcasting on Channel 20 on your cable dial. Because if you missed the first part of the show, you missed our visit with Sergeant Don Cappola with the Baton Rouge Police Department, giving tips on how to not be a victim during the holiday season. A lot of people just don't think about it. And we're no longer in a place where we can't think about it, that we can't think that, well, surely no one would try to rob me here. We've had armed robberies occur in some of the most conspicuous places. We had a business like a block off of Interstate 12 on South Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Two men walked in broad daylight with the intent to rob. People were killed. That was only a few days ago. Something is up with, I hate to call it the criminal element, something is up with the men and women in our parish that would commit crime for whatever reason. And I don't kid myself. I think that some of these people are driven to crime because they don't know how else to make ends meet. They've got bills to pay, they've got to eat, and taking from someone else, it seems to be simpler to them than applying oneself to a career or a position, especially if one has no training. Am I soft on crime? No. I think part of the problem is that maybe we're as a society, we're not hard enough on crime. Do you remember Scared Straight? There used to be a thing, Scared Straight, where they would take young people into a prison and show them firsthand what life in prison was like. Do they still do that, Scared Straight? It seemed to me Scared Straight was really working. Kids would see that on television, and they'd think, I don't want that to be me. But we seem to have gotten away from that, where we don't have guys who have been living in a prison for 17 or 18 years and don't have any hope of getting out anytime soon talk to these kids and say, don't make the mistakes that I made. You know, we don't have anybody telling that's on the inside and knows what they're talking about say, you know, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get caught. There's cameras everywhere. And this is the message I think we need to get out to the young people. You know, and you know who I'm talking about. And this is not a racial thing. This seems to be the thing now. Everybody now under a certain age thinks that the way to resolve your issues with somebody, your conflicts, is to get violent, whether it's guns, knives, clubs. That seems to be the go-to. And it's a shame. And you know that's why we have this escalating murder rate. Since the COVID-19, the district attorney has told us that we have an increase in domestic violence. Some of that domestic violence has led to deaths, and that's contributed to the murder rate. There's something missing that we used to have, and it's kind of hard to define. But if I was forced to try to define it with just my little bit of intellect and exposure to the world, we used to be afraid of consequence. Individuals used to be worried about consequence. And you would see it. People would be like, hey man, you want to get the chair? No, I don't want to get the chair. Well, then don't even think about it. Hey man, you want to do 20 years upstate? No, I don't want to do that. Well, then don't even think about it. There seems to be no inherent fear of punishment of the law, whether it's incarceration or, well, let's face it, I don't think anybody is worried about getting the chair or the lethal injection or whatever, because we frankly don't do it anymore. Louisiana has just simply not made it official. We haven't executed anybody in over 10 years. I think Gerald Bordelon was the last man that was executed in Louisiana, and Bordelon and his lawyers had to ask for that. No more appeals, please. I'm guilty. Kill me. The guy had committed a heinous crime, if you recall. And he was willing to step up and take the punishment for his crime. He couldn't live with himself. Most other people just aren't afraid. They're not afraid of going to jail. They're not afraid of maybe possibly being in jail for the rest of their life. And they're certainly not afraid of the death penalty. So whether or not you believe the death penalty is a deterrent or not, it's kind of irrelevant because we just don't do it anymore. We use the excuse that we can't get the drugs, we can't purchase the drugs that are used in the cocktail that is given for the lethal injection. And I'm not going to argue the rightness or wrongness of not executing people, but we need to find some way to get it back into people's heads that breaking the law is bad and going to prison is bad. And it's not someplace you want to be. Young people don't seem to think about it at all. They don't seem to be afraid of it. But there it is. And we have this spiraling crime rate. It's being used, and probably rightly so, as a major arguing point in the election coming up Saturday for mayor president of East Baton Rouge Parish. And what do you do about it? I've long said you can't prevent crime. You can only hope to intercede and hope that you can convince people that they should not do it. But if someone's got it in their mind to do it, whether it's an armed robbery or whether it's a straight up murder, they're going to do it. So what's the answer here, gang? What's the answer? And what does either the mayor president, if reelected, what does she do going forward to work with police and try to lower our crime rate? Or what does the challenger, if he is elected mayor president, what does he do going forward to try to reduce our crime rate? It's a rough question. And it's not just a Baton Rouge thing, because if you check the headlines all around the state, you'll see that violent crime is up. Violent crime in New Orleans. There were a couple of murders over the weekend in New Orleans. Lafayette has become a more violent city. Shreveport has become a more violent city. Monroe has become a more violent city. You're hearing it from all over Louisiana and other parts of the country as well. There's something inherently missing from us as a people, as a society. What is it? Is it God? Have we largely turned our backs on God? We give God lip service. We go to church on Sunday, but we don't really believe. Is that what it is? You know, do you believe that criminals, the people that commit these acts, go to church? Is it that we've taken God and responsibility for oneself, personal responsibility, out of schools? What is the answer here? These are questions that we have to sit and be able to discuss without risking offending people. Marty, is this 45 to the end or 45 to the break? Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'd better wrap things up. I just got to talking here. I'm like that. My wife will tell you once you get me started sometimes. And with no bill to shut me up for a couple of minutes, boy, you're in trouble. Listen, we got more great guests coming up in the show. I'm hoping to get some political talk on here tomorrow with Roy Fletcher and others. And the problems of being a musician in Louisiana. Going to revisit that amid COVID-19 later on this week. Until tomorrow, you take care. Don't forget, Clarence Buggs is on the way in just minutes. And don't forget the replay tonight at 10. Also catch us on the Pelican Broadcasting YouTube page. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.